This is Cast of Wonders, the young adult fiction podcast featuring stories of the fantastic. Welcome. I want to tell you about a show I think you'll enjoy. Play On Podcasts, epic audio adventures that reimagine Shakespeare's timeless tales, featuring original music composition and the voices of award-winning actors. Each episode explores plays from Macbeth to A Midsummer Night's Dream in a way that you can actually understand it, and created specifically for the podcast form by some of America's most exciting playwrights, directors and composers, and performed by stage and screen's best. Check out their current season of King Lear that stars Emmy winner Keith David and Severance star Trammell Tillman. Hear Shakespeare like you've never heard before. Subscribe to Play On Podcasts wherever you get your podcasts. Episode 499. I'm Catherine Inskip, your editor and host. Today, Cast of Wonders is bringing you another Summer Spotlight episode, part of our series featuring award-nominated authors and stories. This week's story is Robo-Liopleurodon by Darcy Littlebadger, which was originally published in Robot Dinosaur Fiction in July 2018. Darcy Littlebadger is a Lipan Apache writer with a PhD in oceanography. Her critically acclaimed debut novel, Ilatso, won the Locus Award for Best First Novel and is a Nebula, Ignite and Lodestar finalist. Her second fantasy novel, A Snake Falls to Earth, was published in November 2021, received the Newbery Honour and is on the National Book Awards longlist. Darcy is married to a veterinarian named T. This story is narrated by Catherine Inskip. Catherine Inskip is the editor for Cast of Wonders. She teaches astrophysics for a living and spends her spare time populating the universe with worlds of her own. You can find more of her stories and poems at Motherboard, The Dunesteve, Lunar Station Quarterly, Abyss and Apex and Polytechny. And now we've a tale to tell. Robo-Liopleurodon by Darcy Littlebadger. Narrated by Catherine Inskip. My intern screamed. That's rarely a good sign. Near the starboard rail, Abigail clutched a dripping, freshly towed plankton net. The collection vial dangling from the muslin funnel glinted in the sun, as if filled with silver particles. "Doctor!" she shouted. "Nanobot plankton!" "Are you sure?" I asked. "They aren't garbage?" "Look!" The collection vial was the size and transparency of a jam jar. Abigail thrust it at me as if handing off a grenade. I activated the magnification on my protective goggles and peered at the murky seawater. Metal specks sloshed side to side, dizzying. They were shaped like pillboxes and propelled by nanocarbon flagella. "Alert the captain," I said. "It's bad news." I'd heard horror stories about swarms of bots large enough to track and disable cruise ships. They reported either to governments or pirates or supervillains, and we were in the open ocean, well beyond any continental jurisdiction. Pirates or supervillains, then? What did they want from us? The vessel was equipped for research, and our most expensive cargo was a really good microscope. Would they demand hostages? I glanced at Abigail's back. She was 19, brilliant, and had joined my lab with a fellowship for low-income students. She reminded me of myself 20 years back when, driven by hope, I studied geosciences because the world was hurting, and somebody had to diagnose it so something could be done. Since then, I've made plenty of diagnoses, but so little has been done. I wondered how long it would take Abigail to become jaded or, like many of my colleagues, leave the field. It's hard to make a career in geosciences unless you love the Earth. Even harder to study its death in the kind of detail that withstands peer review. How many reefs had I watched die? Islands drowned by the rising sea. Primordial species extinguished in the span of one human lifetime. Frustration drove my own advisor to early retirement. I was her last pupil. She left the moment I graduated. "They won't listen to us, Maria," she said. "They won't fund us, and that means we can't help them." As I watched the water around our ship darken with swarming bots, I wondered, who will help us? In the distance, a silver back split the sea, but the vessel, an odd submarine, dove before I could get a good look. One of the quick-thinking deckhands activated a distress drone. With an industrious whir, the tricopter zipped over my head and attempted to escape the signal-blocking radius emitted by those damnable bots. The ship's emergency siren wailed, indicating that I should leave the deck and take shelter in my cabin. But I couldn't turn away from the sea, which churned like boiling soup beneath the drone. Seconds later, a metal beast breached the water. Its great crocodile-shaped mouth yawned open and snapped, crushing the drone mid-leap. Its 4 paddle-shaped flippers flapped, their surfaces sleek and their edges sharp as knives. When the whale-sized machine landed, the impact rocked our ship and sprayed my face with water that tasted of salt and metal. "What is that?" a deckhand asked, dismayed. "I can't believe this," I said, "but it looks like a Robo-Liopleurodon." The Liopleurodon head reared from the water, its jaws snapping, flourishing 5-inch-long serrated teeth that could easily tear our hull to shreds. I took a step back, at once startled and fascinated. Its engineer had put exquisite care into the design, emulating the strength and form that once made the Liopleurodon the greatest carnivore in the Jurassic Sea. Far beyond the Liopleurodon, silver bobbed on the undulating sea. I zoomed in with my goggles and glimpsed a hatch protruding from a metal dome. "Doctor," Abigail said, tugging on my sleeve, "the captain wants us off the deck. Come with me, we can't—" "Attention RV," the Liopleurodon boomed. "Surrender all microscopes, CTDs and reagent-grade chemicals or we will disable your ship." There was something familiar about that voice. "Dr. Barbara?" I asked. "Dr. Barbara, is that you?" I threw myself against the railing and waved at the Liopleurodon's glassy black eye. Hey, it's me, Maria, can you hear me? Holy shit, this can't be happening!" The Liopleurodon's mouth opened wider, as if gasping. "Maria? Are you piloting that robot dinosaur?" I asked. Well, a robot marine reptile." "And robbing us?" "For the greater good." "Greater good?" "Earth and science." I'd been wrong. My advisor never gave up. Although I wasn't sure that joining a team of rogue scientist pirates was much better. And it had to be a team. Dr. Barbara might be a brilliant chemical oceanographer, but she wasn't a paleontologist or an engineer. "You must think I'm terrible. Just, never mind. We can find supplies elsewhere. I hope your research is fruitful." The Liopleurodon began to sink. "Wait," I said. It hesitated, half its head submerged. "Yes?" "Have you really accomplished anything with this criminal behaviour?" "Of course. Just this year we have eliminated 1 million tons of microplastics from the North Pacific Gaia and saved a whale species from extinction." "You'll be caught someday, Dr. Barbara," I said. "Perhaps," the Liopleurodon winked. "Take care, Maria." As our attackers vanished and the ocean cleared, Abigail asked, "Who was that?" "Apparently my graduate advisor." "Is she a supervillain or something?" "Or something," I said, and I wondered if someday that something would be me. Silver glinted against the horizon as the Robo-Liopleurodon leapt one last time. This is such a fun story. I love the idea of scientists going rogue, and while I can't condone piracy, I certainly see the temptation of unshackling one's work from the yearly grind of grant applications and the whims of politicians and upper-level management. The Robo-Liopleurodon manages to be both futuristic and rather steampunk, and the work Dr. Barbara is doing is very much in a Robin Hood vein of crime, fixing problems that just aren't being handled by conventional means. Supervillain? Perhaps. Role model? Oh, absolutely. Join us again soon. We love bringing you the best audio fiction week after week, but we can't do it without your support. Your donations pay our authors, our narrators, our servers, and our staff. Please consider supporting us with a monthly donation through either PayPal or Patreon. You can also review us on Apple Podcasts, request us on Spotify, and consider the stories we publish for award consideration. There are lots of ways you can help. Join the discussion on the EA Forum, forum.escapeartist.net, or EA Discord. Visit on Twitter at Cast of Wonders. Come say hello. Cast of Wonders is a production of Escape Artist Incorporated and is brought to you by editor Catherine Inskip, assistant editors Andrew K. Ho and Carissa Sluss, editorial assistant Amy Brennan, associate editors Cami Adams, Tanya Adelit, Rian Bowley, Amy Brennan, Alicia Caparasso, Umera Hussain, Somto Eheswe, Kup Hakob, Amanda Kong, Ray O, Samuel Poots, Rin Richmond, Emma Smales and Denise Sudell. Our community manager is Denise Sudell and our audio producer is Jeremy Carter. Our episodes are released under the Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives 4.0 International License. That means you can download or listen to the episode on any device you like, but you can't change it or sell it. Our theme music is Appeal to Heavens by Alexei Nov, available from Promo DJ or his Facebook page. Thank you for listening.